No one touches a royal flagship, not unless they want to disappear. The Aurelian crown drifted silently in orbit above the capital world of Velthera. A ship so advanced it was rumored to be partially alive. A vessel that had never failed in over 3 centuries. A symbol of absolute power. And now, it was dying. Core synchronization failure. One engineer whispered. Neural lattice destabilizing. Quantum drives offline. Panic spread across the command deck. Not loud, not chaotic, just controlled fear. The kind that only existed when something impossible happened. Because this wasn't just a ship. This was the Queen's ship. Queen Cerathis stood at the center of it all. Tall, unmoving, eyes glowing faint silver as she watched her empire's greatest creation fall apart around her. Status, she said. No one answered immediately, because the truth was unacceptable. Finally, the chief engineer spoke. We don't know how to fix it. Silence. The Queen's gaze sharpened. You built this vessel. Yes, Your Majesty. Then repair it. The engineer hesitated, then whispered the words no one wanted to say. It's not broken. The Queen tilted her head slightly. Explain. The engineer swallowed. It's rejecting us. Hours later, a decision was made. A desperate one. They called in external help, which is how a human ended up on the most protected ship in the galaxy. Name Marcus Hale. Occupation mechanic. Specialization. Fixes things that don't make sense. Reputation? Unofficial. Untrusted. Unnecessary. Until now. Marcus stepped onto the Aurelian crown wearing grease-stained gloves and a toolkit that looked laughably primitive compared to the ship around him. He looked around, whistled softly. Yeah, this thing's way above my pay grade. The royal guards didn't laugh. He was escorted directly to the core chamber. No delays. No explanations. The doors opened, and Marcus stopped. The core wasn't mechanical. Not entirely. It pulsed. A massive sphere of shifting light and living circuitry hovered in the center of the chamber. Energy flowing like veins. Patterns changing like thought. Marcus blinked. Okay, that's new. The chief engineer spoke. This is the neural core. It interfaces with the Queen's command system. Marcus nodded slowly. So, your ship has a brain? Yes. And it's having a breakdown? Yes. Marcus stepped closer, ignoring the warnings, ignoring the guards tightening their grip on weapons. He reached out. Don't touch, the engineer snapped. Too late. Marcus placed his hand on the surface, and the core reacted instantly. Light flared. Energy surged. The entire ship trembled. Get him away, someone shouted. But Marcus didn't pull back. He frowned. Huh. The Queen stepped forward. Explain. Marcus didn't look at her. He was focused on the core. It's not broken, he said. The engineer froze. That's what I said. Marcus shook his head. No, not like you mean. He tapped the surface lightly. It's stressed. Silence. Stressed, the engineer repeated. It's overloaded, Marcus said. Too many inputs. Too many commands. No breathing room. That's not how systems work. Marcus finally looked at him. Yeah, it is. When they're alive. The room went still. The Queen spoke quietly. What do you suggest? Marcus shrugged. Let me try something. He opened his toolkit, pulled out a simple interface patch. Crude, basic, human-made. The engineers looked horrified. You cannot connect that to. Marcus already had. The core flared again. But this time, something changed. The chaotic pattern slowed. Not stopped. Stabilized. Marcus leaned in slightly, like he was listening. Yeah, I get it, he murmured. The Queen's eyes narrowed. You understand it? Marcus smiled faintly. Not exactly. He tapped the interface again. But I think it understands me. Minutes passed. Then something incredible happened. The ship exhaled. Not literally, but every system across the vessel recalibrated at once. Power levels normalized. Synchronization restored. Drives came back online. Silence filled the chamber. It's fixed, the engineer whispered. Marcus stepped back, wiped his hands on his pants. Wasn't that bad. The Queen approached the core slowly, her reflection shimmering in its surface. Why did it respond to you? She asked. Marcus shrugged. Because I didn't treat it like a machine. Days later, the Queen summoned him again, this time not to the core, to the throne chamber. Marcus stood there awkwardly, clearly out of place. "You saved my ship," Queen Sarah said. Marcus scratched his head. "I fixed it." She studied him. "You did more than that." She stepped closer. "You listened." Marcus didn't reply, because he didn't think it was anything special. To him, it was just what you do. If something's struggling, you help it. The Queen was silent for a long moment. Then she said something no one expected. "I want you to stay." The entire court reacted. Whispers. Shock. Marcus blinked. "Stay, as my chief systems advisor." He laughed. Actually laughed. "Your Majesty, I'm a mechanic." She nodded. "Exactly." Months passed. The Aurelian crown never failed again. Not because it was perfect, but because someone was finally listening. Marcus made changes. Small ones. Reduced command overload. Allowed adaptive response. Introduced flexibility. The engineers resisted at first, then learned, because the results were undeniable. The ship didn't just function. It thrived. And the Queen, she changed too, because for the first time, she saw her empire differently, not as something to control, but something to understand. One evening, Marcus stood alone in the core chamber. The light pulsed gently. Calm. Steady. He placed a hand on it again. "Doing okay?" he asked quietly. The core shimmered. A soft response. Not words, but something close. Marcus smiled. "Yeah, me too." Across the galaxy, stories began to spread. About a human, a mechanic, who fixed something no one else could. Not with power, not with advanced tech, but with something far rarer, understanding. And in a universe obsessed with control, that was the most dangerous skill of all.